Hello, folks. I'm going to talk a little bit about the wildlife explosion on the Appalachian Trail, not only on the Appalachian Trail, but all throughout the United States. But the elk are back on the Appalachian Trail. The cougars are back. There have been quite a few reported sightings of those, and there's actually been one attack out west on some of those trails out there. There have been quite a few cougar attacks, and cougars have actually carried off young children and things. So cougars are pretty bad dudes. Coyotes are back, been back for quite a while. You can hear them howl at night. Wild turkeys are back. Black bear and deer populations continue to increase. Deer populations have exploded, and wildlife officials say that the cougars are going to be reestablished in this area on the eastern seaboard of the United States. They're going to be reestablished within 25 to 30 years. I think that's a good estimate because the deer population has really exploded. And deer are the main prey animals of cougars, so they're definitely coming back. When you have a species like deer or some of the other species, when they overpopulate, the predators populate too. So the cougars, if everything remains as it is, they're definitely going to be coming back. Deer are, there's more deer right now in the United States than there were here when the Indians were here. I know back when I was growing up in the 1950s, 1960s, it was very rare that you saw deer. I mean, they were not that many, and you very seldom saw deer kills on the road. But nowadays in the county where I live, Giles County, Virginia, there's probably several thousand deer killed on the road just in this county every year. And I know it was back when I was growing up, 50s and 60s, 1950s, 1960s, very seldom saw deer. They were not anywhere near as populated as they are now. They've really, really exploded. You got all sorts of wildlife that's coming back. The wildlife people or the conservationists will say, well, we've done such a good job in conservation, and that's the reason why all these species are coming back. Well, they may have done a good job in conservation, but really there's a lot of BS there going on, because what's really having those wild animals come back and repopulate is the fact that the economy is really, really good. And as a result, very few people hunt anymore, which will help keep the population down. Plus, in addition, you've got the obesity crisis. I mean, 76% of the population is overweight or obese. And, 76% of the population is overweight, and a number of those are obese, and then some of those are morbidly obese. Now, a little bit about the elk on the Appalachian Trail. They have elk in North Carolina, Tennessee, Virginia, and West Virginia. In North Carolina, there's estimated to be 200 to 225 elk. Tennessee, 400 to 600. In Virginia, about 250. And in West Virginia, about 100. And they will continue to populate. Back in the 1950s and 1960s, they had a elk population up on Sugar Run Mountain in Giles County, Virginia. And the wildlife folks had put a herd of elk up there, and I'm not sure how many there were, maybe 100 or a couple hundred, but they had so much trouble with the farmers complaining about the elks tearing down their fences and things like that. And I'm sure that some of that is true, not necessarily all of it. Some of it was just the farmers trying to get money and blaming the elks for certain things. But anyway, as a result of the problem with the farmers and so forth, they exterminated the herd. There's a lot of history there. The actual Woods Hole Hostel was the place where the gentleman lived who managed and kept an eye on that herd for the wildlife officials. And his granddaughter actually is the lady that runs the Woods Hole Hostel up on Sugar Run Mountain. But that's a little bit about the elk. The deer are really, really abundant now. I know back when I was growing up, I managed to kill a few deer, but they are nowhere near. They were really scarce back then, and they're really, really very abundant now. The bears predate on the deer, and so do the coyotes. And the black bears are getting more and more abundant. And I've seen a lot of bear out hiking on the Appalachian Trail. Generally, bears will leave you alone, and generally all the other wildlife will leave you alone. And if a bear sees you, he's probably going to take off, because these bears are hunted by people with dogs, and they're really, really afraid of people. But there have been people killed by black bears, and even on the AT that has happened. So you want to be careful when you're out there hiking on the AT. But I mean, there's a lot of wildlife out there that you can see. Like I said, I doubt you'll see an elk, because they're really rare right now, and probably will not see a cougar because they're really, really rare right now too. But there are some back. There's been a lot of sightings. Coyotes are they're really nocturnal, and you very seldom will see a coyote, but sometimes you may. Wild turkeys, the thing about wild turkeys is, as with a lot of other birds like geese and so forth that flock together, when half of them have their heads down to feed, the other half has their heads up looking around. So it's almost impossible to sneak up on a flock of wild turkeys. You're going to be really, really lucky if you see them. They'll generally see you a long ways off before you see them, and then they'll take off, and you will not see them at all. Liable to see some black bear. Like I say, I've seen quite a few black bear driving on Forest Service roads, and also out hiking on the trail. So anyway, that's about the wildlife. And wildlife has really exploded, not only in the eastern part of the United States, but also in the western part of the United States. And it's because the economy is really, really good, and people don't need to hunt for food. If the economy goes south and things got really, really, really tough, you'd see those numbers of that wildlife would really, really start diminishing, going down. But as long as things stay the way they are, with the economy being really, really good, food being really plentiful, and people being overweight and not getting out in the mountains and woods to hunt and so forth, and hunting is becoming a lost art. as are a lot of outdoor activities becoming lost arts. But that's about the wildlife explosion, and it's happening all over the United States. I'd say probably happening in other countries as well, like over in Germany and places in Europe, because their food is abundant over there, and same it is as it is here. The only place where wildlife is not exploding is where countries are really, really poor, and a lot of people hunt and subsist on the wildlife. But anyway, that's a little bit about some of the wildlife that you might see on the Appalachian Trail while you're hiking. And if you are hiking this year, have a good hike. I wish you the best. And try to be, when you're hiking, try to be as quiet as you can. And don't be wearing earbuds or playing music or anything like that. You'll see a lot more wildlife. And if you hike, stay on the trail and hike carefully. Don't try to make a whole bunch of noise. Don't be talking to other hikers that you're with and so forth. And you will definitely see a lot more wildlife. I know a lot of times out hiking, and it's kind of funny. I'll be out hiking and I'll see hear a bunch of hikers coming. Actually, they're really local hikers, and they may be a group of 10 or 12 people, and I can hear them a lot of times from a mile away, just talk, 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 talk. And I can actually tell you, before I pass them, I can actually tell you how many girls and how many boys there are in the group by listening to them talk. And like I say, I can hear them from miles away. And I'll tell you something, if you're hiking in grizzly bear territory, or where there's cougars, a lot of dangerous wildlife, then that's like ringing the dinner bell, is talking and making noise. So I like to hike and be as quiet as I possibly can and listen to nature and enjoy nature and see the wildlife. But everybody hikes their own hike, and if you want to be talking a lot with somebody that you're hiking with, that's fine. Just realize that the more you talk and the more noise you make, the less wildlife you're going to see. But anyway, enjoy your hikes, and I hope to see you guys out there, which I may, because I'm going to be hiking some myself this summer. But anyway, thanks a lot, and you folks have a nice day. And if you would, please subscribe to my video channel here, if you would, and hit that notification button. Right now, I'm posting about a video a day. I'm not going to continue that up during the summer, but I'm going to try to post as much as I can. But you folks have a nice day. I appreciate and thanks for viewing. Thanks.